Good morning, children. Welcome back to the English class. Today we are going to continue with the revision of Lesson 2, Brave in Life, Brave in Death. Madam has done the first two videos on it, and now we are going to continue with the revision because some exercises were left. So please go and get your real English book, and I want everyone to open it on page number 10. We are going to do some exercises from there. So please go and get your books and a pencil. First, we go back to page 9, and there is vocabulary B1 where you have a table with a lot of qualities, and there are three columns, one on Nirja, the second one has the pilot, and the third one are the terrorists. Now you have to complete the following table as indicated by the example. First one was marked for you. Insincere, Nirja's name has been ticked because she was sincere in whatever she did. The pilot and the terrorists were not sincere. Instead of a tick, I have put the asterisk if it is applicable to that person and a cross if it is not applicable. Now, hostile means when you are not friendly with someone, you have enmity or you don't care for someone, then you are called hostile. Now, Nirja was not hostile, so a cross. Pilot was also not hostile. The terrorists were hostile. Compassionate, Nirja was very compassionate. I hope you remember when you have sympathy for others, it's called compassion. And so Nirja was compassionate. The pilot and the terrorists were not compassionate. They did not care for the others. Now, philanthropist is a person who feels the pain of others and wants to do good to others. So Nirja was a philanthropist. The pilot and terrorists were not. So I hope you have crossed in these two columns. Now heartless is not that you don't have a heart. In a body, everyone has a heart. But heartless means when you don't feel the pain of others, you don't care for others, you don't have love and care for them. Now, Nirja was not heartless. The pilots were also not heartless. To an extent, they were cowards and so they ran away. The terrorists were heartless. Coward is the opposite of brave. Nirja was brave, so it is totally wrong for her. Pilots were cowards, that's why the pilot was a coward. All three, the flight engineer and the three, were cowards, so they ran away. And terrorists were not cowards, of course they were not cowards, but they were brave in a wrong way. Fearless, Nirja was fearless. The pilot and the terrorists were not fearless. Misanthropist is the opposite of philanthropist. When you hurt someone, you don't feel for others. So Nirja and pilot were not misanthropists, but the terrorists were. Now Nirja was courageous, brave, but the pilot and the terrorists were not. And selfless also, Nirja was selfless, and the pilot and the terrorists did not think about others, so they were the opposite. They were selfish. Nirja thought about others, so she was selfless. I hope you have got all these in your book. If you haven't got, then please pause it and check your work. Now we go to the next exercise, which is B2. Now in B2, they want you to write a synonym for each of the words given in the book. Now, hostage is when you take someone forcefully and keep them like a prisoner with you till all your demands are met. So, a hostage, other word for hostage, a synonym which means the same, is captive. Now, there are other words also which you can use. So these are not the only synonyms. You may have more than one, and if you have used the other one, it is okay. You can check your answer. If you have some other answer, use a dictionary. But for synonyms, the best is the thesaurus. If you have a thesaurus book which has synonyms and antonyms, you can check from there. Otherwise, a dictionary is also okay. Now, the other word for dedication, devotion. Hurdle, you must have all heard of hurdle races. Those are the obstacles which come in your way. Victory, a synonym for victory, very easy one, is success. Abandon, when you leave someone, you give up something or someone, it's called abandon. Compassion, of course, is there in your word bank. So a synonym for compassion is sympathy. Loyalty, faithfulness. Frightened, afraid. But as I told you, you may have other synonyms also. So please check your work using a dictionary if you have some other word. And if you have these words, it is fine. Now the next one that was in this section was B3. Write phrasal prepositional verbs with each of the following verbs. Now I hope you remember what are phrasal or prepositional verbs. We have done it in third, fourth, and maybe fifth. A verb which is combined with an adverb or a preposition, that means you have a verb and with the verb you have an adverb or a preposition. Then you get a phrase, and this phrase is called phrasal or prepositional verbs. Now you have, like in the example, they have take on, take away, take out. Now these prepositions when added to take change the meaning of take. You may have the word give up, give in, give on. All these words change when you have a preposition added to it. Now let us see, here again I must remind you that you may have more than 3. So if you have used the others, it's okay. You can again check using a dictionary. Make, the easiest one is makeup. Makeup has two meanings. You do makeup to look pretty, and makeup is also, suppose I have a fight with my friend, I make up with him. That means I become friends again. Make out is to find out, and make do is to take something and use it, though it is not the best thing, but anyhow you use it and get your work done. Now check again, check in, check up, and check out. Check in and check out are words we use connected to the hotel. When we check in, that means we go in the room, and check out when we leave a hotel. And check up, the doctors do. You can go for a monthly checkup or a full body checkup. Now call off when something is postponed or cancelled. Call on when you visit someone. Call up when you come and visit someone again. But call on is when you visit them personally, and call up is when you use a phone or a mobile when you call up someone. So when we do it physically, it is call upon or call on, and call up is when I ring up someone. Now break, break in, a thief breaks in and then comes and robs the house. Break down when you cry or you are very depressed and that's why you are very sad. And break up, of course, is when you break up with a friend. That means you are no longer friends. Now the next one is the grammar section where you have some exercises on the use of may and might. Most of us get very confused when we have to use may and might. Where to use may and where to use might. Now there are some differences and so we have some mentioned here, but in addition, there may be more. May is used to express possibility. That means you are not sure, but it is possible. Might is used for a lesser possibility. May is also used to take or give permission. Now let us see how may is used to express possibility. An example, he may come home early. That means we are not completely sure, but it is possible. There are chances that he may come home early. May is used to take permission or give permission. May I speak now? May I drink water? May I go to the washroom? And the teacher also, when replying or giving permission, will say, yes, you may. Now, may is also used to express a wish or to bless someone. May all your dreams come true is a very popular one. Then may you live long, may you succeed in your exams. So whenever we have to express a wish or bless someone, we use may. Now let us see the other one, that is might. When to use may and when to use might. Now might is used as the past tense form of may in indirect speech. When we change from direct, that means something in inverted commas is called direct speech. When we change it to indirect, remove the inverted commas and write, then instead of may, we use might. Lata said that she might join us for dinner. Might also indicates a smaller possibility than may. As I told you earlier, it might rain today. That means there is very little possibility, but it might rain. Now, might is also used to reproach or to scold someone in a polite manner. For example, you may pay a little more attention to your handwriting. So, we are scolding someone but in a polite way. Now let us see C1. C1 has frame questions with may to get the following answers. So all the questions are going to start with may because you are framing questions, and of course all will end with a question mark. Now example of the same is here. No, you may not. You aren't 18 yet. That is the answer. Looking at the answer, you have to frame a question. So they have framed the question, Dad, may I learn to drive the car next month? And a question mark. Now here you may have multiple questions. The answer is given. For that you have to use or frame a question using the word may. Now the first one, let me do it for you. Of course you may buy one. Now when someone says of course you may buy one, now you can take permission using a question, but your questions can differ. Of course, you may buy one. So the question may be, may I buy a new dress? May I buy a new book? You can ask your mother. So you can say, Mother, may I buy chocolate? Anything, you may have different ones. Now all these 1 to 8 you must have done in your rough notebook. If you have not done it, please try to do it in your rough notebook. Just read the answers and frame questions which are with may and end with a question mark. Now the first exercise is of course free response. You will have different answers and everyone should have her in or his individual questions for the answers. Now this one C2 is a dialogue between a teacher and Varun, and of course some other words have to be used with may or might. So teacher Varun, why hasn't Harish come to school for the last 2 days? Now the boy Harish has not been coming to school for the last 2 days, and so the teacher asks Varun, Varun, sir, he might be unwell. Now you see he has used might be because there is a possibility, a little possibility, of course, that he might be unwell, that he is not well. Teacher, if he is unwell, he would have me an application, he would have given me an application for leave. That means that the teacher was expecting him, if he was not coming and he was unwell, to have sent him an application for leave. Varun, may I call him from the school office? Now Varun is taking permission. So many children use can. Can I call him from the school office? But it is not absolutely right. Though in day-to-day language we use can very often. So the proper word is may I, and so he uses may I and then frames a question. May I call him from the office? And a question mark. The teacher gives permission. Varun has asked for permission and teacher has given permission. Yes, you may. Tell the receptionist that I've asked you to do so. Now here the first one has might, the other two have may, because in the first one we are talking about possibility. He's not sure, he hasn't got any news or application. Then in Varun's dialogue, may I call him from the school office? May is always used for permission. You cannot use might. Now the teacher you may, because he is giving permission to Varun to go to the school office and use the school office phone. Now there's another dialogue. Of course, it's a telephonic conversation. That means now Varun has reached the school office and he has a talk with Harish to know why he hasn't been coming to school. Now again in this one, you have to use may or might. Now Varun, may I speak to Harish? Again, he wants whoever has picked up the phone to take permission to speak to Harish. Harish, I am Harish on the line. So it was Harish only who had picked up the phone. So he says, I am Harish on the line. Now Varun, Harish, This is worrying. Why haven't you come to school, Harish? I have been down with fever and rash for the last 2 days. The doctor said that it might be measles. If it is, it may take some time to recover. Now might be measles again. The doctor is not sure. Maybe he has not got the test and all done. So they have a way of telling the patient that it might be measles because it is a possibility. And then the doctor had added, and this Harish is conveying to Varun that if it is measles, then it may take some time to recover. That means then it will take a longer time to recover than any other fever, etc. Now Varun then wishes him speedy recovery, so he says, may you get well soon. So now you can see in this telephonic conversation, may I speak is for taking permission, may is used, might because very little possibility is there, may take some time because if it is measles, it is expected to take some time till a patient recovers. And then the last one, before he ends the telephonic conversation, Varun wishes him or conveys to him, get well soon. So whenever we are wishing someone or conveying best of luck, may you succeed, may you get well, may you live up to 100 years. So we use may very often. Now I want all of you today, there is an exercise that is C4 where you have to choose may or might correctly. If you have already done, very good. If you have not done, then you are please going to tick it in your books. Only one is right, either it is may or it is might. You just have to tick it. And in our next video, we are also going to do listening and speaking exercises which are given on page 12. Listening, of course, we can read the things which are written here, the statements, but you will do when I am speaking or reading the script. So this we are going to practice one time tomorrow. Now in speaking, we have something which we have to discuss, and then there's some writing and some other points to be recapped. So we need a real English book on the table for the next video or before we start watching the next video, and a pencil or a pen. And if you have any doubts regarding any of these, please write them down in a notebook or in a diary. And whenever we meet for the live class, you can ask Madam or me to clear your doubts and to explain something again if you could not understand it. Thank you, children. Take care.